wrestling silly bits too. Having a blast bringing our show to you. They rant, they rave, they won't behave. Rasslin fans, come out your cave. It's time to BS and misbehave. Talking wrestling, time to go. Ring the bell and start the show. Talking wrestling, time to go. Ring the bell and start the show.
Hello, and welcome in for we start year 3 of Talking Wrestling with Pondwater and Amy. I'm Pondwater Dave, and I couldn't do it without the First Lady of the Arn Anderson Fan Club, Miss Amy Vaughn.
How exciting! 3 years.
Happy anniversary, Amy.
Thank you. Happy anniversary to you. It's flown by. Didn't even know.
Man, it don't even feel like 3 years.
It does it.
The time flies when you're having fun.
Exactly. And this has been a lot of fun. We've learned a lot, got to meet a lot of cool people. We've been great.
Hey, I can't believe we haven't been canceled.
I can't believe you haven't.
I consider that a personal victory.
I was going to say, I can't believe you haven't got us canceled.
Because in the immortal words of Corey Forster, I be saying shit.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I left work early to pregame. Well, thank you, Darren. We appreciate that.
Darren Staley's here. Austin Kendrick's here. Hey, Austin. Mark Out Moments is commenting. Our own channel. Drunken Pop in the house. There's Allison and Andrew. That's the TNA Top 10. All these great shows that you can see out here on Mark Out Moments.
So nice. Everybody stopped by. We appreciate you all.
You want to take a walk down memory lane before we get started?
Yes. Is it the last 3 years? Let's
No. It's just it's a little short thing because somebody's computer ran out of memory while they were creating this massive file.
So it's a short stumble down. No. Boy, I love it.
Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Pondwater Dave Show. And my name is Justin Davis. I will be your host throughout these weekly shows that we do, and it's dropping every Friday morning.
Look at this production value. Happy New Year and welcome to the Pondwater Dave Show. I'm your host, Pondwater Dave.
That is not the Great Muda.
That's not the Great Muda. I'll kiss your ass in the middle of the road and give you 20 minutes to draw a crowd.
Well, you know what happens when you second guess my trivia. So pucker up, asshole.
It's the famous shirt. I have it on.
Oh, goodness.
That was a very classic.
And then I had where I was introducing our guests. Like we had the Bojangles champion, we had Dave Silva, we had Dan Bynum, we had Dave Penzer, we had David Manning, we've had Caden Marks, we've had people from OVW, IPW, all them W's.
Exactly. We had Tony Gunn, we've had Ray Fury, we've had
Barrett Brown,
multiple
Tim Storm,
champions.
James Beard.
The horsepower. I was looking.
Yeah, we've had Eddie Martinez and Nate Collins. We've had Muddy Waters. We've had Gio Savage and RJW.
We have Efren. That is very true.
Yeah, we've had Vladimir Koloff. We've had Brandon Turner. Well, I mean, it's almost all been good.
Oh.
And our guest that's going to join us a little later in the program, we had a couple years ago, Mr. Conrad Thompson, the Podfather himself, will be in the house with us.
And we can honestly say, at least for us, you and I, it would be very hard for me to think of a time where we could have met without the help of Conrad in the sense of the ad-free shows community. So, maybe we would have stumbled across each other, but we definitely, we've announced a wrestling show.
We announced a wrestling show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wrestling.
That was super fun.
Yeah, we've done live wrestling.
We have done live wrestling. We have gotten to do so many cool things. We've had some Cassandra Golden. We've had some great women's champions on here, tag teams, world champions. And I only see us getting better going in to year 4. Right?
Hey, and speaking of our previous guest, we have from MPX, we had Hilda on. Mm-hmm. Hilda's had some health challenges. And let me tell you, she's pulled the nose up. She's in a good place. I'm not gonna tell her whole story, but she's posted recently a video on Facebook updating her where she's at through her struggles. And hey, I'm so happy for her, and continued prayers for her that she gets to where she needs to be. Yes,
definitely.
Yeah, we've had Ava Porter on. AIWF has sent a lot of people to us over the last 3 years. But you said that this wouldn't have happened without our connection to Conrad's what brought me and you together.
Yes.
And what brought Justin and most of the people are friends on our network. But have you ever in your life had an epiphany of I don't know if this is a catastrophic moment that sent your trajectory on a way to bring you to where you are today?
I don't know.
I recently had, I was cleaning out, had a closet collapse. We got so much stuff piled up in the closet that the shelves collapsed. Had my wife said, no more wrestling t-shirts, because I had them all hanging in one closet.
And it brought
the whole thing came down.
Oh no.
The whole thing came down. And anyway, so I'm in there the other day and I had to clean the closet out to fix it. And I found some wrestling magazines.
Uh-huh.
And I had a moment. Darren said serendipity is the word you're looking for. Yeah, that's better. Catastrophic moments like that moment during the Texas Rangers baseball season when you realize the wheels are off and they ain't going nowhere. That catastrophic moment is like when the Cowboys, you realize this ain't their year. Catastrophic moment like recently for the Dallas Mavericks when that dumbass Nico Harrison decided that he wanted to trade one of the greatest ball players that's probably ever going to play the game, Luka Doncic, to not only a team, but a rival team, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, that's right.
That's a catastrophic moment. So yeah, serendipity is the word I'm looking for. Thank you for that, Darren.
Definitely has a different connotation, a nicer connotation.
And Nico got fired this week, so ha ha.
Yeah,
I wish you could take the dumbass owners with you.
Well, but then the damage is done, right? The guy was already
that's
traded,
what I'm saying.
So,
you can't put the toothpaste back in the bottle on this one.
No.
But anyway, so let's talk about this moment of serendipity.
Mm-hmm.
So I have this ad I saw on the back of Pro Wrestling Illustrated 40 years ago.
Is this the magazine, or you found
it
in
on
another?
More than one magazine.
Okay.
But they advertised these wrestling albums, and this was Wrestling Album 5.
Okay.
And you see, we have Bob Backlund, and there's a very young Hulk Hogan, and the guy in the cowboy hat, believe it or not, is Barry Windham.
Really? I was thinking you know what? I was thinking Black Jack Mulligan. So I was
Blackjack Mulligan Jr.
Yeah,
because at the time in Mid-Atlantic, he was Blackjack Mulligan Jr. But there's Ted DiBiase down there. You see Ric Flair, Greg Valentine, Tommy Wildfire Rich. Did somebody say something? But anyway.
Who is it? Wait, now I got to know. Who's the guy right above Barry with the mustache? Who is that?
That's what I'm getting to.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Okay, sorry.
That's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Is it really? Okay.
And he's wearing the Mid-Atlantic Championship belt.
Okay.
And that wrestling belt got my attention. Like, I really like that belt.
Okay.
And it set me on a course of being a huge belt fan. Like, I would get the magazines and I'm flipping through pages because I want to see the belts.
So how old were you, Pondwater, when this happened? Like, do you think?
17.
Okay.
17. But like, we would watch WTBS and Ronnie Garvin was the television champion, and it was just a small, loudly colored television belt.
Yep.
And it had that World Championship Wrestling font. And then I would see the national tag team belts with the that the Road Warriors would have, and Paul Orndorff was the national heavyweight champion, and the world tag team belts were the gold cast beautiful ones. But what I'm saying is, and then World Class got new belts with the Texas and the American and the tags and the 6-man tags. I was all about wrestling belts. Well, fast forward to 1999, 98, 99, and I get in the belt groups on Yahoo. That was just a forum on Yahoo for the people that liked wrestling belts. Not everybody could collect them. And then we started learning figures.
Did you have any? Did you have any at that time? You didn't even have any belts yet.
No, they weren't available.
Oh, okay. Nothing. Okay.
When the Figures Inc. toy company put out, the very first belt they put out was the 10 pounds of gold, the NWA world title.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered it and got it. And man, I was proud of it. And when you look back on it, it was just like, it wasn't real leather.
Right. Yeah.
It was a hard strap and it didn't have the grommets, but I'm thinking this was a wrestling belt. And I was excited to have it. And then they came out with the WWF ones, the Big Eagle, the Intercontinental title.
Ooh.
And I bought both of them. And this was right at WrestleMania 17. I got my brother carried the Intercontinental. I carried the Big Eagle. They had them on display at Access or whatever they called it back then. And nobody had these yet. So, I think I'm king shit on Turd Mountain walking around WrestleMania with the Big Eagle. And then I paid $10 to get my picture taken with a ring used belt because they were raising money for some charity. And it was a Polaroid. Mm-hmm. And I got to hold the real Big Eagle. Mm-hmm. And it weighed so much. Mm-hmm. Now I knew the difference between the Figures Inc. toy and a real wrestling belt. But then through the bulletin, we graduated from the Yahoo groups to the bulletin boards, the Glory and the Gold. Mm-hmm. And then we had belt marks. But we were on a bulletin board. And then we found out that Joe Marshall, who made the Big Eagle and the Oval Intercontinental and the Stone Cold Steve Austin belt, if you tried to contact him for a belt, he just bowed up on the fans because he's a massive prick. Mm. And he said, I don't make belts. What I do is art. If you would like a belt, call. And he had a phone number to call Ed Schumann mm-hmm. that dealt with Dave Milliken and Reggie Parks. And he sent all this business to Reggie and Dave. So I called Ed Schumann and I ordered a Texas light heavyweight belt.
Uh-huh.
And that was my first real wrestling belt.
Do you still have it?
No, I sold it years ago.
Okay.
I wish I still had it. But that set me on the journey. Well, I mentioned these bulletin boards because these became they were my internet friends, but we all shared a bond that we loved wrestling belts. Mm-hmm. Through this course of time, I meet Mike Page, who's mm-hmm. been a guest on this show a couple times. And I was and Mike was a wrestler, and I met him and Joey Corman for dinner because I sold him a wrestling belt. I met him out in East Texas. We ate dinner. Him and Joey told me how horrible life on the road was, how you did all this driving and you spent 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the ring, and then you were on to the next town. And by the time we got through talking, I could not wait to go to wrestling school.
Yeah, I bet.
And Mike sent me to PCW.
Uh-huh.
So now my pro wrestling journey has started because of my belt collecting. And then I have my belt friends. And this circle expands. And then you fast forward to NWA Legends in Charlotte. That's where we first met up in 2005 at Wrestle Reunion. Then we met up in 2008 in Charlotte, and we'd start going to Fan Fest at Charlotte every year, which is now the gathering that T-Mart puts on.
Okay.
But that's where we would meet up, and all of our internet friends would hang out for the weekend.
Yeah.
Had a great time. Well, then one year we were all just trying to coordinate where we were going to meet up, and we started a group chat on what was Twitter. And I had met Conrad through Russ at WrestleCon, and then I met Conrad again at NWA Legends, and we hit it off, became friends. Mm-hmm. So he's in this group chat that we're all coordinating. And then out of that group chat, he starts spitballing ideas for what became ad-free shows. Because, I mean, he just told us in the group chat one day, hey, guys, I'm going to go hang out with Rick. He's doing a podcast for CBS. Then Rick wanted to be a part of it. And then, then he got Bruce, and then he got Tony, and then, and then all that snowballed. But I tell you all that to tell you, if I hadn't become a belt fan because of this picture that's on the screen, that snowballed all the acquaintances that I've made in my life that's got me into the wrestling world as a referee, that's made me make the acquaintance that I had through, like I said, there's where I met Conrad because of the mutual love of wrestling belts. That's how I've met you, and I met Andrew, and I met everybody else that was in part of ad-free shows or wrestling belts or whatever. And so this was that moment of serendipity, because I know that Mid-Atlantic belt was the belt because nobody else, I mean, I'm sure it's because it's the white paint on it that made it stand out.
Yeah.
And I love it.
It's pretty cool. Look, it's different. Definitely different.
Yeah. I mean, and it's got a neat story what happened to the ring used one.
What?
Buzz Tyler got pissed off about a payday and left and took the belt with him.
Buzz Tyler, too. Who is that?
He was a wrestler in Mid-Atlantic.
And he was a champion.
He was the Mid-Atlantic champion, and he tore his ass and took the belt with him.
And what'd he do with it?
No
one knows?
Don't know where it ended up.
What was he mad? He's mad about a payday? Is that what you said?
Yeah. He got mad and quit and took the belt with him. So, I mean, it's kind of neat. I kind of thought that when you can trace it all back, how that worked into that, just a love of wrestling belts.
And what are you up to? How many belts do you have now?
78. Yeah, I counted the other day. 78.
What was the most recent? I feel like you must have gotten something recent. Have you shown me? Let's see this.
This was the predecessor to the World Television Belt, the NWA Television Belt.
I like that.
Yeah, Tully Blanchard had it in 85.
Yes. Okay, we did talk about that. We might have talked about it, but not,
Tully had it, and then and I've always wanted one of those, and I just now got it. Thanks to our friends over at Big Time Belts. Big Time Belts, Facebook.com.
Great job.
Go join the group. He'd make your belt dreams come true. He just recently made my belt dream come true.
Heck yeah.
He made Russ Miller's belt dream came true with this. Just Russ likes to get just custom generic belts.
Mm-hmm.
And Russ is another one of them. I mean, one of my earliest friends that I met when I got in the belt hobby, and I talked to Russ every day.
Aww.
And we talked so bad to him. But he's finally graduating nursing school. He's going to get pinned in a couple months, and I hate that I can't be there for him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Here's an NCAA Kentucky Wildcats basketball belt a fan had made. There's me with Billy Gullett with his custom BIW Louisiana championship. There's Tim Robinson. Look at that face.
He is so
That's
happy.
The commercial right there.
Yes.
That's the commercial, because we've had Tim's belt journey. We've seen his belt journey since it started through our affiliation with Big Time Belts.
And if you, he has a YouTube page. He is on a weight loss journey, and he's doing some fabulous things over there. If you ever get a chance to go check that out and be part of his journey, I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
He's really entertaining. He's pretty entertaining too.
Oh, definitely. And I was going to say, he probably is, he probably has other belts that, he might show on there. I have no idea.
Oh yeah, he shows them all.
Because he has a big collection, like you said. I don't know what all he shows and what he has up and doesn't touch.
Young Simba Championship. That's a 3D line on the main plate. Beautiful craftsmanship by Big Time Belts.
And you say it's a 3D, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's cool. On that line head's completely detailed. It's awesome.
It is.
The House of Headlocks champion.
I like
the House of Headlocks social media champion.
I love the purple. I love the emojis on it too. I think that's these are awesome belts.
The Pan African. I mean, and there's only 3 of them. They made 6 of them for these people.
Right.
But Big Time Belts, Facebook.com, making your belt dreams come true. I want to thank my friend Muhammad Zubair at Big Time Belts for his continued support of our podcast after 3 years.
Yes. Great. I mean, I love every time we have this commercial. I love looking at all the new belts. I just think the craftsmanship and the concepts that people come up with and the color choices, like I really do like looking them over. They are some spectacular pieces of art. They really are.
The belt makers from Pakistan get the knock that they're bootleggers. And hey, I ain't even going to deny it. They are. But not everything they make is a bootleg.
Right.
There's lots of promotions with lots of custom belts.
And I think it does for a promotion, it does elevate them a bit when their belt is well done, quality made. It's really, prestige, like you said, it makes it a little bit more prestigious. I think it's fabulous. I'm glad that they can do that.
Yeah. Because I can remember there was a time that you'd go and there was a Figures Inc. toy belt that somebody printed some stickers and covered up the logos and put stickers on it. But I mean,
right.
But you used to pay when they first came out, they were like $185.
Right.
But now, for not much more than that, for what you can get a custom belt made for cheaper than what you can buy a belt from WWE for. And
I think one of the things we have seen with the belts is this phenomenon of the belt being used to signify greatness in a lot of different ways. Football championships or teacher of the week. I see that at our school where they give them a belt for the, teacher of the month or whatever.
Central Hines Academy, big play belt.
Exactly.
The coach got that big play belt. My wife designed it. It's a beautiful belt.
It is.
I went up there to drop. I went up there to take my grandson his backpack that he'd left. Mm-hmm. And so I went to the field house because he was in there getting ready for JV. And one of the varsity players was walking around holding the big plays belt. He wouldn't put it down.
See?
It was his to carry around.
It is definitely a prestigious piece. It's better than a trophy in that sense. Like you said, you can pass it around. Fantasy football, different,
Tell the truth,
fishing.
Amy.
What?
You've thrown your belt over your shoulder and walked around the house and felt like a badass, right?
Yeah, I have 2 of them too. So
Yeah.
I've tried to do. I need a little bit more stretch in the band, but I tried to.
Stephanie had $1 for every time I come duty bopping down there in my house coat and opened the house coat and had a belt on and said, "Hey, baby, the champ's here." She'd have a lot of dollars.
I bet. Oh my goodness. I can only imagine what that would be like in that house. I'm sure once a week, if not once a day, right?
Oh, man. Terry Weaver wants to know, will Billy Jack Haynes find his way into the show tonight?
You know what? I watched WrestleMania 3. I had it on in the background. And that is the famous Hercules Billy Jack Haynes, what is it, Full Nelson battle.
Full Nelson challenge.
And so, yes, I it's kind of crazy to think, haven't thought about him a lot since we talked about him murdering his wife, not too long ago. But yes, I did get to see that. I did
allegedly
watch that. Allegedly, he has Alzheimer's. I mean, there's a whole.
If you don't remember it, did it really happen?
Well,
I'm kidding.
Oh, I know.
Hey,
But
Austin Kendrick wants to know if we've ever met Tommy Rich. Yeah, we met Tommy Rich. He almost got us kicked out of a comedy club in Huntsville, Alabama. Hey, Conrad, I thought you said she was going to be funny.
Yeah. I met him also here in Mayfield. He wrestled, and he was nice. He was not, he was not in a, he was in a professional set. Well, he was a professional setting when I saw him at Mayfield, wrestling. But he is a character, I guess.
Let's surprise TJ, Amy.
Okay.
Hey, were you just hanging out, or did you want to?
Yeah, I mean, either. I was just hanging out, but I don't know if people remember this, but when you guys first started doing the show, I was like on episode 2.
I don't doubt that. What were you on for?
I was doing interviews and writing articles for PW Mania at the time.
I do remember that. I do remember you writing articles and stuff and interviews. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I started to watch episode 2, and it was so bad that I turned it off.
Oh, don't say that.
We didn't get to you before I turned it off.
That's fair. But I just bought a bunch of action figures today, but there's 2 I think you're going to be very interested in. Okay. So first, we'll start off with this one. Autographed Harley Race.
Ooh,
I've got that action figure.
Well, do you have this one?
I don't have it. I don't have it signed.
It is. It's signed. This one's signed.
I like that.
I have the WWE Hall of Fame Full Horseman signed by all 4.
Oh, that's.
I got that one too.
You opened it?
You opened it?
I did.
Ew.
Oh.
Why would you do that?
I already have. I got a picture with all of them signed, all 5 of them.
I got a picture signed.
Yeah.
Who's the other one, JJ?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's.
Cool. I have that one too, Stephens.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go and get them signed, all of them signed. So I opened them and.
I got a Ron Simmons autographed one, but it's just going to go into a box and then to Alabama. So
I understand that.
Don't you just love Harley Race's? Did he put Best in Sports on it?
Or
did he just sign it?
I think he just signed it. Oh, it's up here. Oh, it's kind of faded.
Oh.
I have no idea what that says.
Harley Race had a good autograph.
Your tattoo looks your sleeve looks like it's coming along. How much do we have?
It's colored with the exception of a few sleeves or a few leaves.
I got you. Cool.
I think I might have a tattoo appointment tomorrow. Actually,
we have a little Jeff Jarrett slander going on in the chat over here. I'm gonna tell Darren Staley to calm down.
Coach Keith is
Jeff Jarrett is a horseman.
Love me some Coach Keith.
Oh, Coach Keith's great.
Darren asked me to sign language the autographs and action figures because Ronnie Millsaps can't see them, which is fair. By the way, I think on the
I got a Ronnie Millsap story.
Oh Lord.
No, I got 2 of them, and one. Well, I went and saw him in the '80s with Kenny Rogers, and Ronnie Millsap put on a hell of a show back then. But he held up a Playboy and he said they made Playboy in Braille.
Oh my gosh!
He started rubbing the centerfold dropped down and he started rubbing it. And then we went and saw him. Me and Stephanie went and saw him a few years ago at the Dixie National Rodeo, and it was not.
He wasn't as lively.
He was not at. His age was showing. He was not what he once was.
I bet. How old is he now? What do you think?
Oh God, he's got to be 80.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go with dead as what I'm gonna go with. So I'm gonna look him. Oh, he is very alive.
Yeah.
Blind as a bat, as we know from Darren Staley, but he is alive. His birthday's in January, so in January 16th he'll be 83.
Dang, good for him.
Hey, and he's an extremely talented man. It's just that when I saw him at the rodeo, everything was one speed.
Sure.
I mean, there was no. I mean, it was like every song was like every song.
Yeah.
And it just was disappointing.
I bet.
The only other, I went and saw Mickey Gilley in Branson
Mm-hmm.
in 2010, and I couldn't wait to see Mickey Gilley, man, because I love Mickey Gilley. I used in high school, I would show up to the parties with Mickey Gilley albums because,
no doubt.
well, slow, you could dance to slow songs.
You had Mickey Gilley hair too, with your curl, with your perm.
Mickey Gilley didn't have a perm.
What?
No, that was Conway Twitty.
Conway Twitty is who
and the first time I got a perm, I looked at it was full blown Conway Twitty.
Yeah,
like I was back
right.
like this has gone horrible, y'all. I cannot go to school looking like this.
He had a helmet. Conway Twitty had a helmet.
Yeah,
but
yeah, he did.
But I went and saw Mickey Gilley,
Mickey
and I didn't know
Gilley.
Mickey Gilley had an accident.
Oh,
Mickey Gilley was paralyzed, but he was able to.
Like from the waist down or neck? Like what do you mean?
Well, they brought him out in a chair like I'm sitting in, and they just kind of they wheeled him out, and he could hold the microphone.
Oh my God!
And he could sing, and he had somebody else playing the piano. But I mean, Mickey Gilley's who you want to see play the piano. But I mean, I was happy for him that he could perform.
Right.
But I mean, I didn't buy a concert ticket. I'm paying for his rehab.
Right. Bless.
And I mean, it was just sad. But all he was doing was moving the couch, and he tripped, and it just did, and he was paralyzed.
That sounds like something an old person would do.
But he did not come advertised as sitting in an office chair, slumped over, singing "Stand by Me."
Wow, nice slip in there at the end. That was well done. Leave it to Pondwater to tell 2 concert stories that are both sad.
No kidding.
Let's bring it back. Like it or not, your grandmother wanted to F Conway Twitty.
I don't like thinking of my grandma like that, so I'm gonna. Do we have time? Can I ask TJ about his show?
Yeah,
because the video. So
he's the belle of the ball on Mark Out Moments right now.
I am.
Tell me about, because I did not play video games. I don't, and I don't know a whole lot about them, but it looks really kind of cool what you're doing. Can you just tell our audience what you've got going on now, like you said, on Mark Out Moments?
So it's Bash on the Buttons every Friday night right here. Right here every night, Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern live is it's a stream. And so I'm going to do just wrestling video games, and it's going to be 3 weeks per show or 3 weeks per game. So right now, this Friday will be week 2 of WWF Warzone, which came out in 1998. And what's fun about that, just a little sample in the kind of information we get into, is Warzone and Attitude were the last 2 video games WWF released with Acclaim. And that relationship had been going on since, the early 90s. The year 2000, that was when they started with THQ and took off like a rocket. But so like in week 1, we're doing Warzone. So I discussed like production of the game, when it was produced, and all while I'm playing it, and getting my ass kicked for some reason by Headbanger Mosh. I still don't understand how or why that happened. But
Mosh was a bad man.
Apparently, Ahmed Johnson, Goldust, no issue. Mosh kicked my ass. So I go around the production, the release, the business it did, all those other things. So this Friday, I think which is going to be fun is I'm going to talk about the storylines that was going on when the game was released. So this would have been July of 98. So this is Mr. McMahon, Austin, Kane, Undertaker, all that stuff was going on at the time. And what's fun is like in the game, because you couldn't, production back then wasn't what it is now. When the game was starting to be produced, it was 97. So when the game was released, there are people on that game that not only were no longer with the company, they were in WCW. Like Bret Hart and British Bulldog are on the game, and they were very much in WCW by 98. Ahmed Johnson wasn't even with the company, and Shawn Michaels was retired, and all 4 of them are on it. So that's the kind of stuff we get into. And again, you just get to watch me get whipped by Headbanger Mosh, which is great.
Well, does that book that you got tell you how to get past him?
So the book everyone's, probably asking, like, is he just doing this for fun? I'm a giant nerd. So this game, I think Attitude did show you their finishing move button combo in their move list. Warzone doesn't. So you just kind of have to like figure it out. And so I ordered the strategy guide off eBay. So now I know how to do the mandible claw. So in the next episode, you will be seeing me mandible claw folk. So there's that to look forward to. But yeah, it's just me and then the whoever's watching, and we just kind of hang out. I answer their questions, I respond to their comments, and we just talk about video games and wrestling from the 90s and just hang out and play video games.
Does anybody I know you've only had one episode, so you may not have this yet, but is there others that are playing their game, that particular game while you're playing your game? Are there anybody else out there so far that has Warzone and they're playing while y'all are watching you?
I hadn't thought of that, but what is I'm glad you brought that up, because if that were let's say I'm doing a show, right? I'm playing Warzone and somebody were to happen, maybe get on the Markup Moments Twitter and send a picture of them playing the game while I'm playing the game with them. It just so happens I have some extra copies of wrestling video games. And maybe if you send me a picture on Twitter of you playing it with us, I might send you one.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So that's a fun idea.
Efren says, shout out to Justin Davis, who got this show started. Happy 3 years. You're correct.
Yes, he's out there.
We had him prominently displayed on the Memory Lane video.
Well, and now he's basketball season is in session, I guess you could say, and I'm sure he's a different type of ref. You're our wrestling ref, and he's our volleyball, baseball, basketball. I don't know what else he might have added to the repertoire, but that kind of referee. So he's out there running up and down the court, probably somewhere.
I heard Justin went into hiding because of the Bengals. Is that true?
I mean, the Bengals have sucked for so long. I don't really know if that's relevant to go and hide now.
I wasn't going to be that brutal about it, but you're not wrong.
I know very little, but I do know they're not very good. So.
I tried to be cute one time and instead of calling them the Bengals, I called them the Bengals and got a cease and desist from the Bengals because they wanted no part of that.
I believe everything you just said.
Can't prove it's not true.
That's right. It's kind of weird how some of those things happen. That's how we learn some stuff. Like, oh, my bad. We didn't.
Hey, we've done good. We've done 3 years. We have not got haven't got a cease and desist
yet.
Hadn't got canceled yet.
It's because I like these every time. I always got these going because
I got them right here. I'm two fisting candles.
Exactly. We have to.
Now how I would have phrased that, but okay. Go on.
Oh, so goodness. Let me ask you, do you all, I guess it probably depends on the questions that you're asked, TJ, but do you all talk any kind of drunken pop info when you're doing your video game? You're talking about what was going on in wrestling. Right. Does anything else ever maybe come up? If it's relevant, maybe would it come up? Or do you?
I mean, I'd certainly talk about it, definitely. But in episode 1, it did not. Right. I'm trying to remember. Antonio was there. He kind of took the show over because it's Antonio, and there was a couple other people there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I mean, Antonio. It was really just, people expressing their memories of playing this game in real time. In 98. So I enjoy stuff like that. I was 13 when that game came out. So I mean, I enjoy talking about stuff like that, especially this era. It's right in my wheelhouse. So when episode 3 is just going to be, me trying to beat the game,
right?
And then us just hanging out. So at the end of episode 2, so after this Friday show, I'm going to be posting a poll for the next video game they would like to see played, and right now I think I have it down to Pro Wrestling for NES, which came out in 87, WCW versus the World, WWF Super WrestleMania, which was 1992 on Super Nintendo, and then WrestleMania 18 on GameCube.
Goodness.
I wish I still had Raw for the original Xbox, because you created your own wrestler.
Yes.
And, and Lillian would introduce him, but she didn't say Dave, because you'd had a list of names to pick from. So it would say David. So she would introduce me as Super David.
Super David.
But you could put I put a CD in there and put the song "Leave Your Hat On" and synced it up. But my wrestler did the Shawn Michaels entrance, and it matched up perfect with "Leave Your Hat On." And I mean, I was whooping everybody on that game, but the entrance was so incredible because you could put whatever music on there you wanted. And I bet you can't. I don't know what year they said, no, we're going to throw a foul on that.
Yeah, that didn't last.
Throw a flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how many video games, how many wrestling video games do you think you have, TJ?
Well, I have all the WCW games that they made, and I think that's 12.
Okay.
I'd say probably 25.
Do you have, is it going to, because again, I don't really know how all this works, but so GameCube, Xbox, Nintendo, like, what did you like? What are you playing on now? Let's start there. Do you have all of them, all the different consoles that you just get whatever you're going to play?
Yeah. So that's what makes this show fun is I have, I don't have all the old consoles. I have most of them.
Mm-hmm.
So really any wrestling game that's someone's like, hey, I think you should play this, I can.
Okay.
So
what about the greatest one that was ever made? The Nintendo game that had Starman on there.
Pro wrestling.
Yeah. Man, I could beat Brock Lesnar with Starman.
Probably.
Oh.
I remember I think it was, what was it? The swamp creature was one of them, and you could like bite people. That was the Amazon. And you like bite people with them and stuff, which is
I was always Starman.
Bite people.
Actually, I bought a game. There's a vintage video game store not too far from where I live in Michigan City. And I stopped there and I bought a wrestling game I've never even heard of. It's for NES. It's called Tag Team Wrestling. I have no idea what that's about. But
I had a wrestling game on my Commodore 128. It was a WWF game. And it was just like Randy Savage. It would show a picture of him coming down with an elbow. It wasn't like, it was like a situational game.
Uh-huh.
Like
I wonder, let me see if I can find that. Because that now granted, I'm not going to buy a Commodore 128 because I don't know how to stream that on this computer.
Well, all I knew about the Commodore 128 is it was twice as good as my Commodore 64.
Oh, that's
And then I bought a game called Shadow President, and then I learned that two gigs of RAM was not enough because then it would take forever for it to load just a little bit of the game. Because I learned about that back then, you had to have a lot of RAM to play these games, and it came with just your baseline PC. Couldn't handle the game, and it was taking you like 45 minutes to do one move.
So what year would you say you played that game for Commodore 128?
87?
So I found it.
88 maybe?
I found it. 1986, WWE released a game for Commodore 128 called Micro League Wrestling. And on the front cover, it's Hulk Hogan and I think Macho Man.
Yeah.
So there you go. Again, I don't know how to stream a Commodore 128 on here, but I would play it if I could.
Yeah. Spider-Man on the Commodore 128 was pretty good too.
They had to have looked awful.
Well, the
Pitfall.
freeze frame of him,
like Pitfall.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't as good as Pitfall.
Whoa.
Oh. So you're going to put a poll out, just to go back, TJ, you're going to put a poll out and your fans, the people who are watching the show will get to vote what one. And you're not going in any particular order, as in like we're doing the 85, 86, 87.
No.
You're just kind of throwing out and just seeing what people want to do. Is that correct? Is that what you plan on doing?
Yeah, and so here's the reason why is like, for example, in 1992, WWF released 4 games.
Okay.
So that would take forever just to get to 92.
Yes.
And that era of the early era of Acclaim, so Super WrestleMania, Raw I would include in there. They're all the same. They just changed a couple of the visual effects. That's it. Everything else is the controls are the same. The game's the same. So I want to switch it up a little bit. Now, I will say, for those of you who are on here through ad-free shows and are top guys, I have a list made out of the games I want to cover, but on that list is not WCW NWO Revenge. And there's a reason for that. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, TJ, I appreciate you popping in.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's
Saw you in there. And I didn't know if sometimes we sit in the wait in the green room just to we'll sit in the studio and watch. And I didn't know if you wanted to come in or not, but I'm always glad to have you.
Now I congratulations on 3 years.
Thank you.
Here's the 3 more, and it's been a joy working with all you guys on Markout Moments.
Well, we're glad to have you. And speaking of Markout Moments,
well, hey,
let's talk about Drunken Pop.
Well, hey.
Okay, y'all just recently did October of '88, correct?
98.
October 98. Okay.
Yep.
That was the last episode?
Yes. This week, tomorrow night, actually, we're doing October of 86.
October of 86.
I'm sorry, November of 86. I forgot what month it was.
Cool.
That's okay.
And Drunken Pop is here on Markout Moments. They cover pop culture. They'll do a deep dive into that month. They'll do box scores, movies, music, television, whatever's going on in the world. It's the and they don't cover wrestling.
We used to.
Yeah, and they may again, but right now they aren't. But if you're into pop trivia, Markout Moments is Drunken Pop's your hookup.
Either one.
And
the TNA Top 10. This was fun. They take a topic, they put it on a poll, everybody votes. They had a great show. They did television villains, and I know. And when I say they hopefully they're going to do soap opera villains at some point. Because
Pondwater?
Because Stefano DiMera it don't matter, daytime, nighttime, anytime. That man was the most evilest sumbitch ever been on television. But rightfully so, spoiler alert, J.R. Ewing, the top television villain.
They so blamed us because I
voted for JR's.
I did too. And I think that was funny. That's a really funny episode if you get a chance to listen to it, because there were definitely, unfortunately, some of the shows I had not really watched. So I had no idea how evil some of these people were. But I'm with you, Dave. I remember J.R. Ewing was a classic Richard
Coach Keith
Cranium.
JR. Coach Keith knows what's up.
We 3 are the reason why he was where he was.
He was the greatest villain ever on television.
100%. He is why all the others can be villains, because he was the worst.
Yeah. But I think they're not.
Do you know who J.R. Ewing is, TJ? Since you're so young, I want to make sure.
When JR got shot, I had to go ask the librarian at our high school to tape Dallas on Friday night because we had football, and I didn't want to miss it. So every Monday, she taped Dallas for me every Friday night, and on Monday after school, I'd go to the library and I'd watch Friday night's episode of Dallas because not everybody had a VCR back then.
Sure.
VCRs
and it wasn't like you could you were going to get hit with spoilers, right? No,
yeah.
You can wait till the weekend to watch it. I love it. I love knowing that Coach Keith also picked JR. The 3 oldest ones in the group, we picked JR as our number 1.
Oh, I think Joffrey was my number 2. He's an evil little bastard.
See, I never saw Game of Thrones. I knew I put them on my list because I knew they were all bad. But I just never.
I was flicking channels and I caught Game of Thrones, and I was flicking channels and there was 2 people screwing.
Oh.
And so I stopped. scrolling.
Of course.
And then there was a kid watching, and they saw the kid and threw him out the window, and it was a tower.
Yes, I remember that
Kids
episode.
home, and then I found out they were related.
Yes, I was gonna say. Then they're brother and sister.
I'm like, this show is so effed up. And now I start watching it. And then I saw the Red Wedding, and it was almost too much for me.
And how is Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad not even getting a shout out here?
He was definitely, yes, he was on the list. He's definitely on the list.
I just meant this now in this discussion. Like listen, I'm one of those guys. Breaking Bad is the greatest television show of all time.
I didn't watch it.
You should.
I'm familiar with it, but I didn't watch it.
You should.
He was very high. Yeah,
he wouldn't have ranked as a villain to me because I knew he was a teacher. I thought he had cancer.
He
started selling meth to pay for his cancer treatment.
He did.
That was his. But it's one of those things where he was a good guy that not turned bad, but he was,
Nothing
to
that to you.
Hey,
yes, that's what I say.
At this time, TJ, you stick around if you want to.
I would love to.
At this time, I want to bring in my guest. He's the Podfather. He's Conrad, the mortgage guy, Conrad Thompson. How you doing?
Man, I'm great, dude. How are you guys? What's going on, fellas? How are you,
well.
Amy?
Doing well.
Good evening.
Kicking it around. Can't believe we made it 3 years.
Yeah, dude. Congratulations. That's a cool deal. A cool milestone to celebrate.
Can you believe I hadn't got canceled?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think you were a bigger asshole when I first met you. You've softened up in your old age.
Hey, you have a lot to do with that, though.
What do you mean?
Because anytime that I want to get real negative, I have to ask myself, what would Conrad do? And you being one of the most positive people that I know, I still, some days I lose it, but I have reined in as much of my negativity as I possibly can. And I try to be a kinder, gentler guy.
Well, I bet you're happier too. Like, I don't know a lot of people who are super negative and also super happy. Those do not go hand in hand.
Oh, I'm happier than I've ever been in my life.
Well, how could you not be? You got life figured out. It's like Matt Coon famously said on my back patio here in Huntsville once. He's got his dream job with his dream wife and his dream kids and his dream grandkids and his dream friends and his dream hobby. Why does a guy like that need a big hog too? You know? He's got everything else. He didn't have to have that too.
Yeah, that's true. The funny part is that never mind. I'm not even going to tell on myself, but I got where you were coming from. It's probably one of the reasons I don't hardly drink anymore.
I think you should drink very often. I mean, once I remember you getting so drunk that you put on one of Ric Flair's robe, and I think that belt behind me, and you meandered upstairs to the Flair suite, and maybe you went to a Broadway. Maybe you went Broadway. Maybe you didn't. Maybe it was a squash match, depending on who's telling it. Oh. But apparently it was 2 out of 3 falls and no holds barred.
Yeah, and I'm not blaming that on alcohol. I'm blaming that on opportunity.
Well, you know, alcohol does create a lot of opportunities. Some of the most fun opportunities I've had in my life may have been with a little bit of alcohol.
Yeah. Some of the best times I'll never remember were, that night with Orange Cassidy.
Listen, that weekend where the first time you meet and get to spend time with Jeff Jarrett for real, you just want to talk about how he had shitty cardio, which I thought was an excellent way to introduce yourself. It was very Matt Coon of you. I mean, I was trying to tell somebody earlier today when they were like, man, he's just the nicest guy. I'll tell you off air who it was, but it's somebody you wouldn't expect. And they were putting you over big. He's just the nicest guy. And so this person was trying to explain now, or they were asked, how do you know this person? Because when I talk about you, I call you Pondwater Dave.
Right.
And this person said, well, he was the belt pope. He was Super Dave Miller. And so then somebody said, wait, belt pope, Super Dave, how does a guy like this have all those nicknames? And I said, well, you got to remember, way back in his day, they didn't have autism. That was something that you grew into. This was a more modern thing. But back in the day, my man wasn't on the spectrum. He was the spectrum. And we love him for it, which is why today he's got a Charlotte Flair wall and a Ric Flair wall and a Von Erich wall. And But I'm just saying, like, people who act like that's a new thing, it's like everybody had a pawpaw or a great uncle who had a train set. He spent 17 years building in the basement.
Correct.
Like, I know what's going on here. We just were calling it different stuff. That's all.
That's really fair.
It is fair.
But enough about me. Let's talk about you.
Okay, let's do it.
Everybody knows that your whole thing with your podcast is nostalgia, and I want to get away from that for a minute because you are calling wrestling on the independent circuit, one FW.
That's right. Yes, sir. One Fall Wrestling out of Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, sir.
You are a color commentator.
Well, I don't know if you would say that I am. You would say that I am trying to be, and I might even use that kind of liberally because I have no idea what I'm doing, but I count the real life QT Marshall. He's not just an asshole on TV. He's actually a nice guy in real life. And in my opinion, he's like the Bruce Pritchard of AEW. So if everybody sort of considers, you know, Bruce Pritchard was once Vince McMahon's right-hand man, well, I think QT Marshall is kind of that for Tony Khan. And so we actually originally met, I guess, in 2018, but we started to become much more friendly in 2019 with the creation of AEW because whenever I would scoot over to Atlanta to see Cody, he was sort of Cody's assistant at first, and then he was formatting the first Dynamite. It's like I have a very vivid memory of him being at DDP's and formatting the very first, you know, printed out run sheet, if you will, of the first Dynamite in Washington, D.C. And I just remember thinking like, man, what a cool special piece of history that's being worked on right around me at this very moment. And it was never lost on me what the significance of that was or what QT was. So we've just become friendly through the years. And he started Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling back when they were doing the Nightmare Factory. And I think somewhere along the way when WWE started doing their own sort of version of the independents with the ID program and things like that, maybe there was a separation. So now there's, you know, just the WWE prospects at the Nightmare Factory, but QT Marshall's still doing his thing and he calls it One Fall Wrestling. And I think he's a little enough, he's old school enough to where he realizes that, hey, you learn not from just having training, but you learn from reps and doing live shows. So all over the state of Georgia, he's sort of created or claimed as like his own territory. Now, I'm not speaking for him, but I'm just saying they do shows all over the state of Georgia and live events. So guys are getting reps. And I want to brag on a guy like Elijah Drago, who I'll admit, the first time I saw him, I thought he looked like $1 million. And as Bruce Pritchard may say, and then the bell rang and I realized, oh, he looks further along in his career than he really is. Mm-hmm. But I've been to these TVs now for the last 3 months and he has not gotten a little better. He's twice as good every time I see him. And to see someone develop like that, this is really the first time I've had the chance to do it. So I'll admit when I was first asked to do it, all I thought about was, oh man, he's my friend. So I don't want to say no. You know all about that, Pondwater. He's my friend, so I don't want to say no. Yeah. But then it means I'm going to have to once a month spend 9 hours in the car, 4.5 over, 4.5 back. But when I got over there, little did I imagine I would meet a lot of really great people and have fun doing it. But more importantly, to see people progress the way they have, it's like, oh, this is
it's the best.
It is cool. And I didn't have that experience before. You know, I spent a lot of time at ECW shows or TNA shows or WWE shows or AEW, but in my mind, those guys have made it because they're a television wrestler, so they've made it. So yes, you could see some progression. I'm not saying they didn't get better. Certainly they did. But when you're seeing guys trying to make it, and you know, respectfully, these guys are not making a ton of money doing these shows, but they're chasing a dream. And to see that, I don't know, man. It's almost like you're seeing a guy like Elijah Drago. I saw him as a redshirt freshman, and then I saw him as a sophomore, and now he's in his junior year. And you're like, well, it's just a matter of time before he gets drafted.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite part about participating on the independent circuit is that you see the stars of tomorrow. And we were just talking about, you know, you and Tony mentioned Robert Evans.
Yes.
And I texted you, I said, I met Robert Evans day one at wrestling school. He shaved my head.
Yeah.
When I was managing the medics, and to go from seeing Robert Evans do what all he could do, and I knew how good he was. Then he became Archibald Peck, and then he was in Ring of Honor, and then he was writing for WWE, and then TNA, and he's so ultra talented. But to know him 20 years ago, and you see that progression with them. To have seen Ray Fury when he just got started here in Mississippi.
Yes.
To see that every time I look up now, he's on a poster, and Jeff uses him pretty regularly now.
Yeah, as he should. I mean, Ray Fury is incredibly talented, and I got to see some of that through my friendship with Adam Priest of how much better he's gotten. And I mean, since I've been on your program, he went from kind of just working Alabama indies to one of the most well-traveled indie guys around, to getting the stamp of approval from Bryan Danielson, to wrestling in primetime TV on TNT in the ECW arena. It's like, wait, what? So to just see that happen for guys, it's really fun. So I'm having a lot of fun at One Fall Wrestling. You can watch it anywhere in the world on Triller TV. It is on Peachtree Sports in Georgia, and I think it may be a part of a larger syndicated network. I've heard from people who I haven't heard from in a long time, who aren't my wrestling friends, who would just text me out of the blue, and they would just say, "Yam bag!" exclamation points. And I'm like, why is Ted Dixie, who I think lives in Syracuse now, why is he messaging me? Yam? And then it clicks. Oh, he's watching the show I taped a few weeks ago, and it's just now airing. But I didn't have that frame of reference before. So I'm not going to say I'm any good, but I'm going to say that I'm learning, and I'm trying real hard.
You always undersell what, I don't know if you are so much better, and what makes you so good is because you're just being you.
Yes.
And that's enough. And the best color commentators are just being themselves. And I watched an episode of it today, and you're really great on there.
Well, I don't think
I found it very entertaining. And you did it in NWA. You did it for the NWA at the Chase.
Yes.
And you were good there too.
That was the first and I thought only time. They had to talk me into it, but when they said it was for one match, I felt like I couldn't say no. And it was a cool thing to be in the Chase and say that I got to call, a match there and all that, just from a bucket list thing. Like, how am I the Forrest Gump of wrestling and I'm at the Chase calling an NWA paper? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But the idea that I'm doing it for QT, I'm doing it with a guy who really cares and works really hard. One of the unsung heroes of independent wrestling, not just QT Marshall, but Brandon. He does play-by-play, and I think if you're looking for a play-by-play guy, I don't think you can look any further than him. Like, he makes sure that we've got monitors set up. He makes sure he brings his own board. He brings his own headsets. He edits it together. Like, he's got notes after notes after notes. He's got a different suit for every episode. Like, he's going to show up early. He's going to make it perfect. Like, I can't tell you, when we do pre-tapes, I've done so many podcasts that I've just decided, hey, what people really like is when you're authentic. And that's kind of what you were talking about a minute ago, Pondwater. And so sometimes I'll stumble on my words, and I know other people would say, hey, let's clean it up. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not a professional broadcaster. I'm just a fan. I don't have a degree in radio or broadcasting or communications. I'm a community college dropout who just really loves wrestling and isn't too scared to turn on a webcam or slide a microphone over. But I'm going to mispronounce words and I'm going to stumble, and that's okay. I'm just a fan. I'm supposed to be enthusiastic. It's okay if it's live. It's okay if you stumble or flub a word. Brandon's a perfectionist. He wants it to be awesome every time. I don't think that what I'm doing is lazy. I think what I'm doing is trying to be authentic. But in his mindset, hey, that's lazy. We need it to be perfect. We care. And so taking that pride in your work, I just think it's rare. I think sometimes people dismiss independent wrestling and they say, oh, it's an independent. Who cares? Not guys like Brandon, not guys like QT. You see QT's invested millions of dollars in a building that has a permanent lighting grid, that has a beautiful ring, that's got entrance tunnels, that's got a giant video screen. He's got guys who work on the DDPY production team who used to produce all of the videos for AEW and the packages. He's doing their stuff. And so it really feels big time. And I don't think it's necessarily printing money right now, but it's printing opportunities for guys like Elijah Drago and ladies like Angelica Risk, who I cannot believe is not a television wrestler. I think she's the best. She's the best on the independents right now, not signed. And I'm not even putting a qualifier on it and saying she's the best female. She is the best on the independents that's not signed. And it just takes somebody giving her a shot. And I don't know if that's AEW or Ring of Honor or NXT or WWE or TNA, but wherever she goes, she will. What we all look for, Pondwater, and you know this to be true, we all want to suspend our disbelief.
Yes.
And everything she does, you're like, oh, she believes this. And if she believes it, it's easier for me to believe it. And I fall in love with her stuff every time I see it.
You mentioned believability, and I even told you that's my purpose watching wrestling now. Believability, wanting to believe is my drug, and I'm chasing that dragon every time I watch wrestling. And I want to believe, and I just want them to do something that will make me believe. And Adam Priest, dude, that dude is intense, and
Yeah,
I believe,
great.
and he's always been that way. He worked here in Mississippi years ago in the Great Southern 8 tournament. But he's very believable. I mean, how often do you see the guys that they bring in that's not signed and they put them in there with FTR, and you believe that there was not a time that he was in there with Dax and I didn't think he was going to win.
I think it's that self-confidence that comes through. Like, he's my real life friend. Like, we talk every day. Maybe not on the phone, but by text, just like you and I do. We're in regular communication is the point I'm trying to make. But he's improved leaps and bounds just in the last year. And the idea that he was able to finally become a television wrestler and work for AEW, and not just be on a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, which that in and of itself feels like a bucket list thing, but to be able to, hey, I wrestled live on TNT. Nobody can ever take that. I wrestled with FTR. I wrestled on a live broadcast from the ECW arena. Like, I mean, how cool does it get?
He wrestled competitively against FTR and got a callback and a second chance to go after him.
And had the move of the night, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's not forget to mention that they gave him a tag team partner that was pretty impressive too.
And what a legacy, and the thing that I love about Tony Khan, and I know he has his critics, but I just want to remind everybody and put this on everybody's radar. The guy who really pioneered the style of wrestling that dominates AEW, at least in my opinion, is Dynamite Kid. He was sort of the founder and the innovator who brought that to the forefront. He didn't have to, but he did. And he inspired a whole generation of wrestlers, chief among them Chris Benoit. And so Dynamite Kid became a star, and Chris Benoit wanted to be like that guy. And I think when Adam Priest was a young fan growing up, he saw Chris Benoit, and he's like, I want to wrestle like that. And the idea that only Tony Khan would put these two guys together. You got a guy from England and a guy he ain't from Warrior either, by the way. He's from Coleman, Alabama. I don't know why he's lying about being from Coleman, but he is. But you got a Coleman, Alabama hillbilly and a baseball player, and he's teaming with a family member of Dynamite Kids, the inspiration to his inspiration. I just think it's fabulous. I'm such a fan of Adam Priest. I was such a Dynamite fan. I know it's not cool to say that you liked Benoit's work, but let's be honest, everyone listening to this did before the tragedy at the end. I'm not excusing what he did. I'm just saying, if you wanted to have that intensity, and you talked about it, Pondwater, people would say the exact same thing. You said years ago in Mississippi, Adam Priest had that intensity. So did Chris Benoit. From the very beginning, the intensity is what came through. And I think that's what resonated with Adam Priest. And I'm just delighted that people know his name now.
Yeah. He is also, I guess you could say, Top Guy Rumble counts. You promote for 2 years now, have put on an independent show at Top Guy Rumble, and it's a little unconventional because of the way that it's booked out in the open. It's a neat experience for the top guys to show up to Top Guy Rumble, get to do fantasy wrestling camp, get to sit in on the booking meeting, get to book the card, get to participate. Some get to be referees, some get to be managers, ring announcers, what have you. It's a very, very, very cool experience for everybody involved. And just the people that just don't even participate just get to watch a very, very good wrestling show. So I got to feel like that you are starting to really notice a lot of independent wrestlers.
I am. I appreciate you saying that. I have made notice of a lot of independent wrestlers. Another one I want to give a shout out to is Big Ben Bishop. Like, you want to talk about a guy who gets it, who understands what his role is and what's necessary. I don't even mean like he knew his role on the card. I'm just saying in the moment, Like his wrestling IQ is high enough where I feel like a guy like that, you don't have to hit over the head with, hey, here's the idea. You can lay it out and he's like, oh yeah, I get it. And I don't mean like, I'm saying like sometimes you have to go very granularly and cross the T and dot the I. Like he understands the assignment of if I'm going to be a bad guy, I'm going to be a shit heel. I'm going to be a chicken shit heel. I saw him at Pigfest. I've seen him a bunch and I've always appreciated his personality and we all love his social media videos. But the thing he did for Jeff Jarrett's independent show in Hendersonville several weeks ago, man, I had a newfound respect and appreciation. That guy is a missed opportunity right now. The idea that he's not doing something on TNA or NXT or Ring of Honor, people will fall in love with him. They've just got to see him.
Do you think it's fair to say that, because sometimes you'll say that guy, well, like Medusa, she was 30 years too soon, but in the 2017 era, Medusa would have been something else because she didn't have anybody to work with back then. Or this guy was 10 years too soon because now guys that size are getting, all the opportunities. Do you think it's fair to say that this is an era that the Giants really aren't, there's not as many spots for them? Because like Satnam is so entertaining.
Well, hang on now. We're talking about AEW. So I don't think Giants are ever going to be priority outside of a cameo appearance in AEW. And I say that because respectfully, the wrestling that Tony grew up on. I think what Tony, again, I don't know. I've never had this specific conversation with him, but the name of the company is All Elite Wrestling.
Right.
And who really decides what's elite? And the answer is critics. So I think that AEW, if you were to say compare them to like a movie studio scenario, AEW would be like A24. They're going to put out the movies that win all the awards. And I really do believe that. So I'm saying all that to say, if you're a movie studio that's putting out movies that win all the awards, I'm talking Academy Awards, Golden Globes, that sort of thing, then you're probably not going to promote Jason versus Freddy. You're probably not going to promote, Godzilla versus King Kong. Now, by the way, both of those movies did box office and have huge fan bases, but it's just not what A24 does. And maybe before A24, maybe it was Miramax, but you get the analogy I'm trying to make. And I think that's kind of what AEW is. So respectfully, if I were a giant, I think I'd want to be a giant in WWE and NXT and TNA, because that's historically where we've seen those guys. Like respectfully, when he was released, I don't know that there were any overtures from AEW about bringing in a Braun Strowman, but they jumped at the chance to get guys like Swerve Strickland. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just saying one kind of fits the style of movies they're making.
And that's what that was the point I was trying to make, is it's just, that's not being a giant it's not beneficial. With no fault to AEW. I just don't think the big men aren't Tony's jam.
Well, specifically, the big men aren't the critics' jams. So again, if we're trying to super serve the audience, like we could make a really good horror movie, but if we put it in front of, a group that came to see Forrest Gump, they're not going to like that.
Yeah.
So you've got to super serve your audience. And I think in the WWE, they used to call Andre, the eighth wonder of the world or whatever it was. But you get what I mean. I'm saying like they promote attractions and AEW promotes dream matchups. AEW is going to dominate, the match of the year awards and 5-star ratings and all that, because that's what it was designed for, in my opinion, even when you name the company All Elite Wrestling. Right. So I don't think that work rate style of match that they're looking for. I'm not saying Big Ben Bishop can't have that. But I'm saying if they had their druthers, wouldn't they rather see Okada and Kenny Omega? Well, sure. They'd probably rather see that than Braun Strowman and Omos. But that doesn't mean that nobody wants to see the other match. It's just, it wouldn't make sense here.
Yeah. I get you. Can you tell me who all's on your radar? I mean, are there any other wrestlers that you got your eye on? Is there anybody that's really standing out at 1FW besides, I mean, Angelica, I get, and Adam, but is there anybody else that we need to keep our eye on there?
Yeah, there's a lot of great talent there. I mean, if I started rattling them off, I would leave some off and I would feel bad. But there are some easy ones that I want to say that I think people have been sleeping on. I'll specifically mention the infantry. I have to admit, when I had only seen their work in AEW or Ring of Honor or Dark or things like that, I had a certain perception of them. And then I got to see them at multiple 1FW tapings. And let me just say, those guys are being slept on. Now, that's not anybody's fault at Ring of Honor and AEW. I'm just saying, if you in your mind had decided, well, I'm going to place the infantry here, wherever that is in your mind. Let me just say this. When given the opportunity to be reframed, you will think of them differently. I'm wowed with them every time I see them. And I know that this is going to be something that a lot of the hardcores take issue with. But I think from a live event standpoint, in front of a live crowd, I know house shows aren't a thing now, but I've seen some 1FW house shows. I saw him at Pigfest. I've seen him at all the TV tapings. Perhaps the most underrated wrestler in the world, send me your hate tweets, is QT Marshall. And when I mentioned that in private to Jeff Jarrett, he laughed and he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, why do you think I booked him against me in the main event? Because he did so many little things. And I know that, like, Amy, I know you'll appreciate this. I didn't notice them as a kid, but when I go back and I watch Arn Anderson's matches now, I'm like, oh my God, all the little things that I missed as a kid. It just, I can't miss it now as an adult because I know what to look for now. Back then I was just cheering the good guys and booing the bad guys, but now I can really see, oh, wait a minute. The reason I thought that looked so good is not necessarily because of the star in the match. It was because of the other guy. And in that case, the other guy was Arn Anderson. QT Marshall is this generation's Arn Anderson, and people just don't know it. Live, I've seen it enough to where I've got my mind made up. And when I mentioned to Jeff, he was almost laughing like, duh, how did you not know that? And another guy I want to give some love to that I think doesn't get enough flowers these days is easily the most decorated Ring of Honor wrestler in history, and that's Jay Lethal.
Yes.
He's been working at such a high level for so long, and I'm not trying to dunk on him here because I got it too, but I got more gray in my beard than I want to admit. And this past weekend is the first time I saw Jay where I noticed a little bit of gray, but man, when the bell rang, you couldn't tell. But it's a fresh coat of paint. I kind of like a little bit of gray on Jay because he really is the grizzled vet. And you take a look at his title history and all that he did and all the main events and all the matches he won and everybody that laid in his wake. I mean, you're talking about a very, very talented performer who I still don't think that the national audience at large is really acknowledging or giving their flowers to. But if you're listening to this and Jay is working an independent show in your town, I encourage you to go. You'll see a lot of guys who are big stars who wrestle on TV who will give you what they would call a house show match, and you'll know it when you see it. You'll be like, well, I'm a little disappointed. Nobody ever said that after a Jay Lethal match. I mean, he's incredible.
And has been for a long time. And I'm gonna tell you what, if you're a professional wrestler on the indies and you want to up your game, you should seek out Jay Lethal and go because he coaches. He has, I guess he has a school. Because I recently found out we have a wrestler named Hunter Law that had wrestled with us at BIW, and then he hadn't seen him in a while. And then he came back and has just a whole new level to him. And then I found out that he went and spent a year in Florida with Jay Lethal.
Well, you may not have known that Jay Lethal had a school, but you've seen footage from there because the stuff you saw of him training or Ric Flair training on the way to Ric Flair's last match, that was at Jay Lethal's school.
So he actually, I didn't know that. I knew that he had a train. I knew he trained somewhere, but
it was
I didn't know that he had students.
I'm not sure that he's doing it right now. There's lots of rumor and innuendo. I don't think I'm betraying confidences, but Jeff Jarrett is working on an idea, and he and I have had some discussions about, hey, maybe it's not just a school, maybe it's other things. And let me just say, you mentioned Top Guy Rumble. It's going to be called something different this year. It is going to happen on Rumble weekend. I'm not going to give you any scoops just yet. But I've got what I believe will be, besides StarCast and Ric Flair's last match, this will probably be my biggest idea yet. and I can't wait. Like, it's something that I get so excited about telling other people about. Like, it is going to feel like a major pivot, and I know some people are going to be like, I don't know, and people hate change, and I get that. But just trust me on this. If you had fun at Ric Flair's last match, or you had fun at StarCast, this is going to be in that same vein when it's all said and done, and it will leave a lasting impression. Like, we will create so much FOMO Royal Rumble weekend. Like, I can't wait for it. I'm looking more forward to Rumble weekend, and as a fat guy, than I am Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, the actual Royal Rumble. Like, I can't wait. I can't say what it is just yet, but let me just say it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah. And hey, I don't know if you know this or not, but I had a really good time at Ric Flair's last match.
I did too. I had a blast, and I it's been a while since I've been as excited about something as like Ric Flair's last match was obviously very exciting to me because it was new and I was trying something new, and hey, I don't know if it's going to work out. And as an entrepreneur, that's kind of what I look for, are risks. Like, hey, what if it doesn't work out? Because here's the risk of being an entrepreneur, Pondwater. You come up with an idea and you spend a whole bunch of time working on it, and then you spend a whole bunch of money trying to develop it. And when it's all said and done, it's not like a regular job where, hey, when it's all said and done, maybe you don't make as much as you hoped. Well, maybe you actually lose money. So you had this idea and you spent all this time and you spent all this money and you spent all this effort. And instead of there being a big reward at the end for you to celebrate and say, look, we did it, you're left with a bill. And it's like, okay, not only did it fail, now you have to write the check. And that is like, as an entrepreneur, that's kind of fun for me. I like the idea of, hey, it might not work out, and sort of operating without a net. And I'm kind of rolling the dice pretty big on this one, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited. I'll be there. I ask Conrad every year. I don't ever ask him to give me specifics. I just say, hey, I'm picking, because we pick our vacations like a football draft and by seniority. So I'll text him and say, hey, are there any weeks next year that I might want to really consider asking off for? And so fortunately I was able to get this one.
Well, I know you were thinking I might be doing something in April. That's not going to happen, but I will have some new dates for you by the weekend for the other thing.
Well,
and hypothetically, I got another thing happening in May for sure.
Okay, cool.
So the end of January and sometime in May, it's going to be pretty fun.
I'm excited for it. And you also spoke about being an entrepreneur. Let's talk about your day job.
Sure.
Because you're very successful. You're Conrad, the mortgage guy.
Yeah.
And you saved me $105,000 when I refinanced, when I went to savewithconrad.com.
Yeah.
I saved $105,000 over. He shortened my term, gave me a great interest rate, and saved me $105,000. That's real. Mm-hmm. And and he only does that for people that he likes. But the good news is that he likes everybody.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, listen, I've had a lot of fun with it, and I know that there's a lot of people who have a lot of questions about, and you and I haven't talked about this specifically, but there's been reports this week that, hey, maybe Trump is going to roll out 50-year mortgages. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? And everybody's got a strong opinion on it. But I want to have that conversation with people who are on the fence. Like, I hear you that in theory, it's a bad idea, but we all know the best idea is to do a 15-year loan. Everyone knows you'll pay less interest. You'll pay your house off faster. But a lot of people still decide to pay it twice as long, and they'll look at a 30. Now, on the surface, from a financial advisor standpoint, I would say, no, a 50-year option is not ideal. However, anything is better than renting. And let me give you an example. If my parents bought the house they live in now 50 years ago, they couldn't have paid more for it than $100,000. But now, 50 years later, that house is probably worth 1.2 million or something like that. So it's worth a multiple of what they paid for it. But along the way, they got to write off the interest they paid every year on their taxes. Versus if they would have started renting 50 years ago, their rent would have went up tremendously because they wouldn't have ever fixed that price. Because remember now, the interest rate will obviously be higher on a 50-year loan than it is on a 30. But we're not just talking about the rate. We're talking about the value of the property that you're paying off. So yes, you're making payments based on $100,000 now because it's 50 years ago. And maybe they just now paid off their $100,000 loan. And you might say, well, shit, it took them long enough. Yeah, you can always pay early and pay it off early. But more importantly, now they own a $1.2 million asset free and clear. So I'm not saying a 50-year mortgage is for everybody, but I would say, boy, it sure does beat renting because you don't get that annual tax deduction for the interest you pay. And then at the end of the 50 years, you don't own anything. And let me just throw this out at you. If you're an investor, and we don't know if this 50-year mortgage thing is even going to be a real thing, but if you're an investor, then you're probably not going to be able to stretch your loan out as an investor who owns maybe an apartment community. All right. So we're saying like he owns a 16 unit, he owns a 60 unit, he owns townhouses or condos or apartments, but he's a landlord. He's probably going to have to get a 15, 20 or 30-year loan on it. So now in order for him to run his business as an investor, he has to make your rent something that will cover his payment based on 15, 20 or 30 years. But if the consumer now has an option, I can go pay my landlord's mortgage based on a 15, 20 or 30 year, or I can pay my own based on a 50 year. The payment will be less than what it would be for the landlord. And the interest you pay on your house is tax deductible. You can't write off any of the rent. So I'm not saying that a 50-year mortgage is the solution, but I am saying it is the lesser of two evils if you're looking at renting. So I would love to have those type of conversations with you, especially this time of year. I know that there's a lot of people who are worried about, I don't think they've called it a recession, but let's be honest. We're in a recession. Things cost more right now. The value of the dollar is less right now. So there's a great separation. People who are heavily invested and have millions of dollars in the stock market, they're doing great. The regular folks like us who are just trying to pay bills and keep the lights on, things are a little tight. Things cost more money right now. And when you look at holiday travel, I just saw today, adult kids on average will travel over 500 miles home for Thanksgiving. Well, that's expensive. It's not like they're making airfare or gas or cars or any of that or insurance any cheaper. It's more and more and more. But then, by the way, after that, you got to immediately start shopping for Christmas presents. And you don't want to go to people and say, well, they got me a present, so I feel like I have to get them one. And what happens? People wind up swiping and they put Christmas on a credit card. And you're going to wind up paying what, 18%, 28%? It's the most expensive way to borrow money. And my argument is always, what matters once you owe the money is, how do we pay it back as smartly as we can? I want the most affordable payment. I want the greatest tax deduction. But here's what I want most of all, to pay it off. I'm the only mortgage guy I know who says mortgages are bad. They're not the long-term solution. Nobody needs a mortgage forever. My grandfather used to say, the only good snake is a dead snake. Well, I would stop short of that. I've got friends who have pet snakes, but I don't know anybody who has a pet mortgage. The real American dream is not to give 29% of your gross monthly income every month until you die. But the bank wants you to do that. They get paid based on what's called under management. So they'll try to convince you every few years to start all over and drag your loan back out to 30 years. I'm not the guy who does that. I do exactly what Pondwater just said I did. He had a 30-year loan and I convinced him, hey man, I know you think you can't afford a 15-year, but you can't afford not to have a 15-year. What does your life look like in 30 years? If you've got 2 kids running around your house right now that are 1 and 3, think about that. They're barely walking, they're barely talking, and you'll have that house payment until they're 31 and 33. Or you could own it free and clear before those kids are 15 and 18. And if life goes according to plan, Pondwater Dave, when that kid turns 16, what do you hope to do for them?
Buy them a car.
And cars are expensive, and they're even more expensive to insure for a 16-year-old driver. And Amy, when that 3-year-old turns 18, where do we hope they go off to?
Trade or college or something.
And college is expensive, and it's not just the classes. They got to live there, and guess what? They want to go join a sorority and go to parties, and you got to buy books. And well, hell, the football game's every Saturday, Mom. I got to go. Well, how do we fit all of that into our daily life? I mean, we got to hope that we don't just wake up one day and say, well, shit, they're going to need a car next year. Oh, damn, they're going to college next year. It sneaks up on you, and before you know it, I got a new car payment, I got credit card debt, and now I'm helping them pay their student loans. Like, my wife would never let me pay her student loans off, but she's 51. She just paid hers off last year. That's crazy. She went to school to figure out how to earn a living 3 decades ago, and she just now paid her student loans off. Like, you don't want to do that to your kids, but the time to think about that isn't when they're 15 and 17. The time to think about that is when they're little. Let's take advantage of what we know we have for sure, and that's this big chunk of debt called a mortgage. And you've gotten used to living without that money. It's just drafted out of your bank account every month. So, you know, it goes in, your check does, your direct deposit, and then the mortgage just comes out, and you get used to living without it. You kind of forget that it even exists. Here's how I know you do that. How many more payments do you have left on your house? Most people listening to this do not know, but they could tell me, I only owe $3,000 more on this credit card, or I got 7 more car payments, and then she's all mine. How many more house payments? You don't know. So you got to ask yourself, what does the end of my loan look like? How old will I be? And what decides whether or not it's a good or a bad mortgage is not your closing costs. It's not your interest rate. Those are lies that are pushed on you by the bank. What really decides whether or not it's a good loan for you is, how does it fit with my life? So Pondwater and I are different ages. So we don't need a loan that pays off at the same time. We need a loan that fits in with his long-term retirement and what he plans to do with his grandkids or his kids or his vacation house or whatever it may be. But we all have different goals and aspirations, but you need someone to sort of talk you through, hey, what's the plan? But that all first starts with you telling me, what are your short-term or your long-term goals? You tell me where you want to be, and I'll help craft something that makes sense for you. And in Pondwater's case, dude saved $105,000.
And if I remember correctly, my payment only changed like $125 a month.
Think about that. Most people who've decided I can't afford a 15-year loan, they say, well, I can't afford it. Well, why do you say that? And they say that because when they first bought their house, the banker they sat in front of said, here's your 15 payment, here's your 30 payment. Which one do you want? Now, when you're buying a place, here's what you're thinking about. I got to get a new TV from Best Buy. I got to get a refrigerator. I got to get windows up. I need to put a new rug down. I don't have any furniture for this one room. I never really liked my dining room table. I need a privacy fence for the backyard. You got all these new expenses. You can't imagine having a higher payment. You're like, nope, let me up. I got to get out of this. But once you own it for a few years, then it's like, hey, wait a minute. I'm 50 and I got 28 years left to mortgage. So my house will pay off when I'm 78, but I wanted to retire when I'm 65. How the hell am I going to do that? A 15-year loan. Now you can retire your debt so you don't have to worry about your social. Who wants to make a mortgage payment off of Social Security? Nobody.
Oh, and the other thing is he saved me $105,000, but I got a little cash out and paid off my high interest credit cards because once we bought the house initially, we went ape shit crazy buying everything for the house.
Yes.
Then kind of got ourselves in a bind. So I refinanced, paid off all the high interest. So while my mortgage payment only went up $125, I got out of debt and then saved $105,000 over the life of the loan.
Instead of paying back that credit card debt back at 28%, now you paid it back at, 4 or 5% or whatever the rate was. So not only was it cheaper, but it was also tax deductible, but it was also amortized out faster. And so what we were able to do is cut years off of your loan, and your payment went up only $125. And here's the thing. If it means you can retire from your job 13 years faster, if they offered you that at work and said, hey, what would you feel about us taking $35 a week out of your check and you'll retire 13 years faster? Everybody listening to this would say, are you crazy? Can you take out $70 a week? Can I do it? How fast can I do this? But you can't really retire until you retire your debt. So I'm glad we were able to help you do that, Pondwater.
I appreciate it. And
I will
and
say
I'm always
also,
fascinated because Conrad does a series on ad-free shows called Ask Conrad. And my favorite parts of it is what he just got through doing. because I mean, it all makes so much sense, and I think it's good information. And I'm somebody that there's no telling where I'd have been if I'd have met him 30 years sooner. because I always lived like I thought. I didn't expect to be alive now. Mm-hmm. Everybody in my family dropped dead at 50. I'm 59.
And they weren't all shot in the head either. Not everybody was shot in the head.
And after I got shot in the head, I was living every day. Like Ric Flair was my favorite wrestler, and I was trying to spend everything I was making too. and thanks to I'm going to be able to retire, and I'm going to have a little something.
There you go. Hey, that's what life's about, man. That's the real American dream, and I'm glad we got to do it for you guys. Amy, what have you been up to? TJ, what's going on with you?
Well, I was just going to say we also did refinance our house with Save with Conrad, and we have no house payment. We have paid it off at this point. So at 50 and 51. So we're very, very excited about that because and everything that Conrad said is true. I do feel like a house loan is probably one of the more, if you're like me, very overthinker, is one of the most scariest things you could do next to buying a car, because you are taking on that huge debt. You don't want to do something wrong. Like you said, you don't want to get yourself in a way that, you're barely can pay your mortgage every month. So we had a great experience with SaveWithConrad.com, and your dad actually is the one who helped us.
Oh, that's
and
great.
Again, we, just kind of everything that you just said, just kind of walking a person through that makes a lot of sense. And like I said, we are free and clear right now. We own our house. So we're very, very happy about that.
It's a great thing. I'm so proud for you. That's the real American dream. There's no better feeling in the world than waking up in a house that you own, that you don't have to pay for anymore. I don't know if you ever saw that John Goodman movie with Mark Wahlberg about gambling from, I think it was 06, perhaps it was 07. But John Goodman gives a speech about FU money. And he talks about FU money, the idea being, hey, you're no longer dictated to. If somebody wants you to do something you don't want to do, whether it's your boss or anyone, you can say, I don't have to. That was his version of FU money. And I don't have to means, here's the way it is. A creditor is always, or a debtor is always a slave to the creditor. Like as long as I remember when I was a kid, there was a guy in my life who would say, I owe, it's off to work I go, because he had debt. He had a house payment. He had car payments. He had credit cards. There's no better feeling of freedom than having no payments. Like, hey, I don't want to go to work today, and I don't have to because I have no debt and I got some money squirreled away and I'm going to be okay. I get to do what I want. And a lot of people are in jobs they hate, and they feel like there's no way out, and they feel like their life is miserable. I bet a lot of those people who feel that way have a bunch of bad debt. Now, you didn't get that bad debt overnight, and you never planned to be in that debt, but you will need a plan to get out of it. And that's my real passion. And I hope that comes through, as much as I love talking about wrestling, like helping people prepare for their future to better take care of their family is why I called the thing First Family Mortgage. And you just heard Amy say it. My dad works here. My mom works here. I've got 2 cousins that are here. I had my sister working for the title closing company. So like, it really is a family operation, and we're helping people every day. Read some of our reviews at conradreviews.com, or if you've got a question, you can email me directly, conrad@savewithconrad.com. And we'd love to just, hey, look, I want to know your goals. Tell me your short-term goal and your long-term goal, and I hope you get a plan to get there.
Hey, my friend Mike Page talked to your dad, and now wasn't the time, but he has a plan. And
That's it. That's all you need. We don't say no, we say not yet, but here's how. So everybody needs a plan, and we're not going to treat you, credit scores change. They go up, they go down. Your moral character does not. And there's no such thing as a 3-digit number that determines whether or not you're worthy of help or grace or not. And so we're not going to treat you that way.
Efren says, and don't let shame prevent you from calling Conrad. He can help you out.
How about that? I appreciate Efren.
Mhm.
I appreciate you guys letting me come on. I can't believe we're missing Blood and Guts, but I would be glad to miss it with you guys tonight.
I appreciate you coming on. I mean, you created this monster.
Well, I was telling my friends because earlier today, John in the office, who works with me on the mortgage side, he's like, now, why is he called Pondwater? And I said, well, back during the pandemic, I did an April Fool's episode and I sort of did silly, goofy commercials. And so then I go, so anyways, fast forward, then he started selling jars of pond water from his pond. And he's like, he did what? I'm like, yeah, there you go. Who would have thought? Listen, it's silly.
Hey.
We have a lot of fun.
But when Ad Free started, we started doing Sad News Bears. I quickly realized that Super Dave is a registered trademark for somebody else. And when he started at Pondwater Dave, I was like, I can sell a t-shirt with that.
Look at you.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, if you lean into it, then it don't hurt as bad.
It don't hurt as bad. Listen to me. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I greatly appreciate
coming on,
the
Conrad.
opportunity. And I hope next time TJ won't talk so much, you know.
I'm sorry. Yes. I was enjoying the conversation. So I really was. It's not even a joke. And, you know, I'm just here as some jackass they let in to hang out. This is Pondwater and Amy's show. So I was just hanging out with them.
I'm going to wander over and eat some cold pizza. We've got a 75-inch at eye level that I've hooked a PlayStation up to, and an Apple TV.
We've got a live wrestling show that we've actually broadcast on our YouTube channel, Mark Out Moments.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool.
TJ, Timmy C, and Dave did commentary on it. And me and Stephanie and we worked the cameras.
Oh, that's cool.
And we did our first live wrestling show, and it's something that you ought to look at. That you and Tony watching one Monday night. I mean, Caleb Conley and Steve Anthony is a main event anywhere throughout the country.
Oh, you know what? Here's some breaking news for you. Are we live right now, by the way?
We are.
Okay. I just recorded with JR. It's the first time I've been able to catch JR in several weeks. He's had some health challenges. He moved back home. He sounded fucking terrific. So I'm so excited. We had a very special interview that I had already prepared thinking that he wouldn't be able to record today. But he did. So we did like an hour or so, but then we're still playing the interview after that I think people are going to absolutely love about the 1992 WWF. But he agreed to an idea that I had, and I'm excited to announce, and I'll break it here. Next week on the program, you're going to hear Jim Ross do commentary for the very first time for Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi.
Nice.
And we've got permission to show it on the YouTube channel. So next Thursday, grillingjr.com, you'll be able to go watch that match just after the 20-year anniversary of it. And there was no commentary on that match originally. You can watch it right now at watchroh.com as a part of Honor Club. It's only $9.99 a month. But Ring of Honor is allowing us to show it next week on JR's YouTube channel. And he's going to do alternate commentary. So you've got the voice of wrestling calling one of the more iconic matches in the last 2 decades, and it's happening at grillingjr.com. I can't tell you how excited I am to hear JR do commentary on that show.
I'm just glad that he's good. I'm glad he's good.
Yeah.
And he's so sharp. He sounded fantastic today.
That's awesome.
Good deal. Good deal.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Conrad. Go enjoy what's left of it. And thanks for taking some time out for us tonight.
Thank you guys very much. This was a blast. I love talking to you guys, and I want to come back every chance you'll let me. Let me know.
I just don't want to be a pest. I'd love to have you on more. I just know you're so busy, and I try not to take up too much of your time.
No, not at all. You're never too much time, man. You got to come see the new office. I got some cool shit set up in here with some cool belts and stuff. You got to come check it out.
I'll do it. I love you.
You too, bud. Thanks, everybody. See y'all soon.
Conrad. Night, Conrad.
Thank you.
Hey, how much fun was that?
Awesome.
Great. I actually wasn't upset. I didn't get to say a word.
Yeah.
It's a great birthday.
Yeah.
It's been a great birthday.
I wanted to talk to him about indie wrestling because everybody knows that he leans into nostalgia. I mean, that's what his podcasts are all based on nostalgia, but I'm enjoying. I mean, I know that he's truly humble. He does not know how good he is at color commentary. he does not realize that people listen to his podcast because they want to hear him.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They don't realize when we go to StarCast that, I mean, he's as big a star to people that listen to him as the people that he broadcasts with.
That is correct.
Like if you tuned in and you expected Conrad with Jeff and it's me or Cassio, yeah, you kind of like Cassio. But,
yeah.
But you're like, oh shit, Conrad's not here this week. It's
Right.
it's a real thing. He is, and the fact that he's my friend, and man, he's been so good to me, and I've had opportunities and got to become friends with so many people. And
again, the three of us, right? I mean, again, how would we ever have met?
Yeah.
If it weren't for that community.
Okay, so I'm gonna let Amy dip because she's got to go get Aaron.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
But thank you. I'm looking forward to keeping this thing going as long as we're having fun. We ain't making no money.
That's correct.
One day, hey, every year we get a little bit closer.
But hey,
we get a little bit closer.
But I guarantee you, last year at this time, we were just trying to knock on the door at 1,000 subscribers. We're
correct.
up over 10,000, and we're almost halfway to our goal to where we need to be on YouTube.
That's correct.
You know, we appreciate everybody and everything, and I can't thank y'all enough for taking time out to join us. I saw some names tonight that I don't see very often. Holly Dizzle, Amy does have a cool T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And at jumpinthepond.com, you can get one, and they're 10% off, and they're not overpriced. Most of our shirts are under $15.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's 10% off at jumpinthepond.com this month.
This is the best seller because my mom and my two sisters.
It is one of our better sellers.
My whole family has it.
It's a solid shirt.
Yes.
And a solid quote.
And
it
every time
100%.
Somebody says something about Great Muda, I send it to Amy. And that Halloween meme with Charlie Brown getting sprayed in the face. The Great Muda Charlie Brown.
I think sometimes you just wake up and say, I'm going to send something irritating to Amy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm so comfortable screwing with you.
I know.
After 3 years, I mean, I felt pretty comfortable with you from the get-go. And I don't know if I've ever told you that. I mean, me and Justin came over from Ringside Rant.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to do something. And then I was like, man, I wanted a woman on the show. And I said, man, Amy always asks good questions. Let's get Amy, see if Amy's interested, because Amy always asks good questions. And that's how, and I'm so glad I did, because you become one of my best friends, and I really enjoy my time with you on this podcast, getting to spend, you know, the times that we get to hang out together, and that's 2 hours a week that we hang out. It's I enjoy it. And if I didn't, I wouldn't do it.
That's right. I do too. I really
and I appreciate, and you let Sean know that I appreciate, because Tep, you know, sometimes she has to sacrifice our time together if she's not out doing basketball. And I know that, you know, Sean's giving up time with you, and make sure he knows that how much we appreciate it.
I will. I definitely will.
All right, go get your kid.
Yes, I will. Thank you all so much.
We'll be back on Tuesday next week.
Yes, it'll be fun. All right, I'll see y'all later. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, Amy.
I'd like to tell everybody. Well, TJ left. Oh, there he is.
I'm right here.
Yeah, you might as well stay for the W ad.
Why not?
This episode of Talking Wrestling is brought to you by W Energy, the clean energy drink that hits harder than a steel chair shot and keeps you more focused than a referee in a title match. W's got no sugar, no fillers, and no crash. Just pure clean energy with vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics that'll have you cutting promos all day long. Whether you're working a full-time gimmick, traveling town to town, or just trying to stay awake through a 3-hour Raw, W's a tag team partner that you didn't know that you needed. It's raised right here in the US of A in an FDA-inspected, GMP-certified facility, so you know it's not some bootleg powder from a Hill promoter. If If you want to stay hyped, focused, and ready to go 60-minute Broadway, grab yourself some W at W.GG. Use promo code Rasslin, RASSLIN, that's Rasslin, to save on your order 10%. That's W.GG, promo code Rasslin, because in the game of life, you don't want to crash, you want to go over. I'm drinking Grandpa's denture water.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
The title of that spoke to me. It's a mango pitaya. I don't know. It's like a dragon fruit mango. It's really good. I've mixed it with Powerade. I've mixed it with lemonade. I drink it with water mostly. I'm a hyper little sucker anyway, so
that's correct.
I don't know about the energy, but it gives me a lot of focus, and I do like that.
There is one thing that kind of upset me when you plugged to Conrad about the BIW show that we announced. I couldn't help but notice you left out the part where you went ass over tea kettle the ring steps, and somehow none of us noticed it while we were announcing the show. Nobody caught it.
Well, I didn't want to tell him because if they watch it, I want them to see it. Like that is great. Holly Dizzle says he's happy for Jim Ross. I am too. I knew he was going to record.
My headphones just died
because he changed. He was going to be on earlier, but it was so much fun. I love having Conrad on, and he's telling the truth. He'd come on as much as I'd let him. He's always telling me, "Hey, send me a link. I'll pop in." I just don't like to bother him because he's so busy.
So I might as well just take these off to not use them anymore. So for people that were in St. Louis for Top Guy Weekend this month ago now, wherever it's been, Conrad, I mean, he knows of me because I've been a Top Guy since day one, but like we've never sat and talked. He doesn't know me all that well, and I don't really know the circumstances, and I didn't ask because it's not really in my business, but they needed a producer for Top Guy Weekend and run the soundboard and kind of make sure the time cues were still getting made and all other stuff. And Conrad didn't ask me, but one of his people asked me to do it through Efren. And I was like, absolutely, I would love to, because, he mentioned him being an announcer and not going to school or being broadcast radio. Or I did do all those things. So I do have experience in it. I said I'd love to. So I went down there and did the production and the sound for him. And during that weekend was the first time I actually got to sit down and talk to Conrad, like just a regular, normal conversation. And I remember we sent everyone out to lunch. I think it was it was Saturday, because I turned the lights off in the room we were in, and I had a projector on the wall that I would show like all the matches and clips and whatnot we were watching throughout the weekend. And I turned on, it was Vanderbilt and somebody else was playing. I can't remember who they were playing. And I'm walking around picking up the trash on the tables, which, by the way, you guys need to do a better job of picking up after yourselves. And I had that game on, and I'm eating. We ordered Emos for lunch that day, so I'm sitting there eating pizza, and I'm watching the game, and it's just me. I'm by myself in there, and Conrad, I just see a shadow walk in the back of the room, and I look at Conrad's back there. I said, "Hey, man, I'm watching football," and he goes, "You had me at football." And he sat down, and we started talking, and then we had drinks after the show that night together. And yeah, like what you hear with Conrad on the podcast, like that's how he really is. Like he is just a down to earth, nice guy that just wants to sit and talk and have fun and cut it up a little bit with everybody. Like he's, for anyone who listens to him and is on the fence of like, I wonder if he really is like that in real life. He is. Again, he had no reason to treat me that way, and he did. He's just a genuinely nice guy.
He is. He's the best of us. He really is. So
end of January.
Super Dave is my work nickname, Holly Dizzle.
It is not mine.
No.
My work nickname is Murderface.
They still call me, at wrestling matches, they introduce me as Super Dave. Ref Super Dave. And then I like it every now and then. Somebody go, well, I don't know what's so super about him. And I'm like, well, I got a bullet hole in the back of my head. Oh, and that makes them feel like shit for saying it. So I'm kind of an asshole for doing that, but I do it.
Do what? When you first told me that story, and I believe it was the same day you told me why you tuck in your shirts or jeans.
Hey, I'm not untucking until George Strait does it. I said what I said.
Is that a shirt? Because it should be.
It can be.
It should be.
I'll get to work on that.
What a rule.
All right. I'm going to wrap this up before we go over 2 hours, and I have to go get clips myself.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm so lazy. We started this, TJ. We would record, and I would go back and I would add pictures and graphics, and I'd spend 4 hours editing and 12 people would watch it. And then I'm like, So we started going live because I was too lazy to edit.
You become defeated real quick when you do. I mean, well, again, Amy and I met when I was doing Tap Guy Theater way back in the day.
Oh.
She was one of the show. I mean, she's one of those people. She came on the show one time to be a guest, and she just never left because she's great.
Yeah. Well, everybody's great, and I appreciate all of y'all, everybody that joined us tonight. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll be planning before we know it. We'll be planning what we're going to do for year 4.
There you go.
Until next time, I'm Pondwater Dave. That's TJ Stevens. We'll see you next time on Talking Wrestling with Pondwater and Amy. Good night.